A politician's brother is gunned down. Ahead tonight, what police know so far about the Kurt McCartney murder.
13 more men arrested for Family Island drug seizures.
And a highway crash leaves a man trapped. What led to the rear end smash-up? The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Kendino Knowles. Thanks for joining us.
Topping the news tonight, the McCartney family is left stunned tonight at the brutal killing of one of its own. Police found the body of 43-year-old Kurt McCartney, the brother of Democratic National Alliance leader Basil McCartney, lying lifeless in the street in Gambier Village last night. Police report a man with a gun launched the attack but weren't prepared to rest on a motive.
Up to press time, police say no one has been taken into custody and they're seeking the public's help in solving this crime. Our LTV's Munnings was on the scene last night talking to police and grieving relatives about the unexpected and tragic loss.
A large contingent of police officers were on Fernando Drive Thursday night, either conducting the initial probe into the murder of 43-year-old Kurt McCartney or updating his relatives on their investigation. The small group of family and friends assembled at the crime scene located just off West Bay Street in the Gambier constituency. Most of his siblings, including his brother Basil, whom we understand were very close, were among the first at the scene. Only our cameras glimpsed the Democratic National Alliance leader, accompanied by his wife, sitting in the backseat of a black sports utility vehicle, leaving the scene. Moments after that was when morticians removed the body. Now, sources informed ZNS News that McCartney was reportedly robbed and then shot to death by a suspect or suspects sometime after 8:30 Thursday night. Reporters on the scene tried to get further clarification from the Central Detective Unit's Assistant Superintendent Bernard Bonamy Jr.
Officers would arrive and met a male lying face down in the street behind me with a apparent gunshot to the upper body. We are early in the stage of the investigation, and as the information becomes available, we will inform the media as to what exactly happened.
Once the word spread, more residents gathered near the crime scene. Offering the McCartney family counseling was their relative, Dr. David Allen.
What this should do is drive us together. We're not going to turn back. We believe in God. We're a family that believes in God, and He's on the throne, and we're going to push forward. We're not going to let fear run us.
We're here on Bahamia West, not too far from Ferdinand Drive, where, as you can see behind me, a group of policemen are near a white Hummer. We understand that is the car allegedly owned by the victim, and what our police sources tell us is that the alleged perpetrators in this homicide, after reportedly committing the crime, left the car right on the side of the waterfront. Police thoroughly inspected and searched the vehicle for clues. Authorities had to even stop traffic. We're here at Kurt McCartney's home on Scarlett Avenue, just off West Bay Street, where several well-wishers gathered to offer their condolences to the McCartney family. Among them was Prime Minister Perry Christie.
Very, very tragic in its implications, but a profound lesson to those of us who are responsible for public policy, and to all of our countrymen and women who oftentimes tend to believe that it's just those people over there who become perpetrators and victims and never us.
Yes.
But this now is another reminder that one of us has been killed.
Democratic National Alliance Chairman Andrew Wilson was with party leader Basil McCartney when he learned about his brother's death. McCartney family spokesman Jerome Sawyer then gave the press a brief statement.
As you can well imagine, with an incident like this, it is a very, very difficult time. It certainly speaks to very difficult times in our country, and they would ask that members of the press, the public specifically, just allow them this opportunity to grieve and to be there for each other. But certainly they thank you for your show of support. Thank you for being here tonight.
Altavis Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Well, it wasn't long after police left that murder scene that they were called across town to another fatal shooting. The male victim was reportedly the target of robbers who turned violent. Our Janaea Noel Ferguson was on the scene.
Another man was shot and killed here in the Anglican community just hours after police wrapped up their investigations on another murder in western New Providence. Residents telling our ZNS News team that the man was shot over on Meadows Lane when he ran here on West Palm Beach Street, collapsed, and later died in hospital.
He ain't dead right away. He run from the shot. After I go over there, when I see ambulance get them, I say, how you get that shot? He say, they get 2 shots, one on the back, one on the shoulder. After I call the brother to find out, they say he dead.
This resident, who only identified herself as Tian, said she knew the victim as he would often visit the area to drop off goods for his girlfriend. She identified him as 58-year-old Vernell Viona, who did landscaping work.
He said, that's my neighbor. He used to live in, after that he moved, live in close by Wilson Truck, yeah. When I walk over there to see what happened, I see the bike. When I see that bike, I know what it is. I said that's some Veronell bike.
The shooting reportedly took place around 6:30 Friday morning. Hours later, the remnants of blood still visible at the scene. Like many, Tian says she's concerned about the criminal element in the country.
That's me 2 times people dead on the same corner. One was dead one year. Ready on one day, that's me too. I know.
So how do you feel about that?
I feel bad. I feel very bad because I always see that man every day. Only yesterday I don't see him.
Now, if you have any information about this latest murder, you're asked to contact police as soon as possible. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Drug Enforcement Unit officers have arrested 13 suspects in connection with 2 drug seizures yesterday. Officers from the Eleuthera Division searching bushes in Gregorytown uncovered 2,000 pounds of marijuana. 5 males were arrested. Then a team of officers conducted a joint search in an area off Finley Key off North Eleuthera, where they intercepted 2 speedboats with 4 male suspects on each. Officers searched both vessels and found more than 1,300 pounds of suspected marijuana with a street value of $1.3 million. A handgun and ammunition was also found.
Well, he spent most of his life on the streets of the capital committing crimes and ending up on the wrong side of the law.
Tonight, LeDuanne Davis has the story of a former gang leader who is telling all about his thug life, his transformation, and his effort to steer young people in a positive direction.
39-year-old Willard Brown, also known as Little Scrooge, says he is a law-abiding citizen now, but 15 years ago, he was the mastermind behind the Border Boys gang wreaking havoc in many communities. Brown feels he was born into a life of crime. He says his father was incarcerated and his mother was reportedly a drug user during and after the time he was conceived. While living a life of a thug on the streets, Brown committed several crimes which landed him behind bars.
I got charged with kidnapping and attempted murder with a precise young lady, and I got charged with shooting one guy through the corner down to Barrel Ground Corner. I got remanded about two to 3 months on this first charge, but I've done things way before that, more serious than what I was locked up for. I want you to believe that, but that's just one of the charges they picked me up with, and learning that experience, I went in prison, and the whole prison tried gang me, the whole gun dog screw tried gang me and the whole Raider screw.
It's this unforgettable experience, losing loved ones tragically to senseless acts of violence 3 years ago and being shot 20 times, forced Willard to make a positive turnaround.
Continue to do badness, you ain't gonna be around. I learned that you're not gonna be here, you're gonna be dead, or you're gonna be in prison, and you can't help nobody. You can't help your cousin, you can't help your auntie, you can't help your grandmother, you can't help your mother. You would be at no cost to society. So that's one of the reasons I made a big turnaround in my life. I realized that badness doesn't pay.
At least 40 people were gunned down and killed here in the Hay Street area throughout the years, and so to stop the bloodshed, the former gang leader has formed a community outreach program to assist at-risk young people in the community.
many young men like myself, hundreds, who pick up the same mentality and was doing this in the country. So my job as an organization is to bring awareness, bring job opportunity, entrepreneurship opportunity, and really to direct the young man to say, look here, as a young man I did the wrong things. Look here, don't go the way I went.
Brown says to make an even greater impact in the lives of young Bahamians, he needs the assistance of corporate Bahamas and all Bahamians to expand his mentorship program. LeDuanne Davis, ZNS Network News.
While the Police Staff Association has complained about the longer hours and the toll they're taking on officers, the National Security Minister is talking about some of the early benefits which have been seen since the implementation of the 12-hour shift, placing more officers on the streets.
We don't intend for it to go on forever, obviously. And to the extent that we are able to continue to use Defense Force personnel, I think that the continued use of them will assist us in being able to gradually prune ourselves away from that. But we have to keep the communities safe. We have to keep the communities safe. And it appears to me that there's nothing that contributes more to the feeling of safety than the presence of policemen in uniform.
Now, on the question of just how long officers can expect to work those 12-hour shifts, Minister Nottage had this to say.
I got calls from all over New Providence, from persons who claimed that they had really never even seen police in the areas before, certainly not on foot. Right. And so they were able to establish contact with ordinary policemen, share their concerns with them, give them some information that has led in a number of cases to discovery of guns, and pointing out to us who the bad people were in the areas, etc. So that was very positive for the Defense Force. People are beginning to get an appreciation for the wide range of young people, very well qualified, very well trained, who are on the Defense Force and who have been providing us services in government ministries and elsewhere while the police have been doing their work on the ground.
A male driver was transported to hospital Friday morning following a rear-end collision along the Samaila-Butler Highway. The accident occurred shortly after 11 when a navy blue Jeep Laredo collided with a disabled delivery truck. When ZNS arrived on the scene, the male driver was still inside the mangled vehicle as EMS personnel attempted to remove him. Meanwhile, packages of rice littered the street, forcing traffic to a standstill. While neither driver was seriously injured, traffic police stressed the importance of using hazard lights to alert other motorists when a vehicle is disabled.
In our first look at weather, front boundary just to the south of the capital continued to provide some cloud cover and one or two spitty showers. But outside of our studios just now, we have cloudy skies, temperature 81 degrees, your relative humidity 79%, winds out of the north-northeast at 12 knots, your barometric pressure 1,017.7 millibars. That translates to 30.05 inches, and it is rising. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the Palmy Valleys, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
Well, still ahead tonight, the recipients of the latest Youth Awards.
And we've got some feedback to our ZNS poll question of the week.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Helix Ultra. Performance you can see.